Leos also were invited as panelists, but this is the first time today we are seeing the entire program moderated by and also planned and executed by the Leos of our district and our neighboring districts. I'm extremely happy today because the program has been percolating, and what we thought was an opportunity for Lions to upgrade their skills and also build on the strengths that they already have demonstrated. Today, we are moving one step farther than that. And today, we have so many young people not only just demonstrating their skills, but taking big strides. And I'm sure that the future of 320D and the multiple district 320 and the future of Lions Clubs International is safe and strong in the hands of these very young people. I assure you all my support in case you are planning anything big like this in future as well. I wish you all the best, Tharun. Please go ahead with your panel discussion.
So, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the ReTouch Outreach 23. So, on this day, we have planned this topic of minimization of plastic on this ReTouch Outreach program. So, now I would like to introduce our four panelists of this day. Like the first one, Leo Aditi Reddy from Leo Club of Sanat Nagar Rainbow. She's an student of BBA and trying to be an entrepreneur in future. So welcome Leo Aditi Reddy. Sir, Sridhar sir, can you put them on screen please, side by side?
Once they start their video, I'm just
whom do you want, because they are not using their own videos.
They are not using their video, so I'm not able to do that. You just continue.
I don't know if you can. Oh, yeah. I think we can do that. These four people can switch on their videos. And whom do you want to be put on spotlight?
Yeah, I did, sir.
Leo Aditi Reddy, sir.
I did, yes. She's here.
Yeah, already added, yes.
Yeah. So the next panelist for today's discussion is Leo Nitisha from Leo Club of Health City 320A. So I would like to invite her to this discussion. Welcome, Miss Nitisha.
Yeah.
Nitisha also is there, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome Nitisha. And the third panelist for today's discussion is Leo Venugopal from Leo Club of Samarians Inspire District 320B. Welcome, Mr. Venugopal. Venugopal is not there.
He's there. Achha, okay, Rupesh is there.
Rupesh is there.
Yeah. And here comes the fourth panelist, Leo Rupesh from Leo Club of Nalanda 320D. Yeah, Rupesh, welcome to the discussion, Mr. Rupesh.
Yeah, you all can understand.
Rupesh, make sure there's your noise.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that was wonderful. Thank you very much. Like the topic, let me tell you a little about today's topic, minimization of plastic. Every country, governments, environmentalists, and even a common man is trying to avoid the plastic or is looking for an alternative. So let us hear that from you guys. Without any delay, let's just start the session. Dear panelists, please switch on your microphone and camera. And are we good to go? Give me a thumbs up if we are good to go. Are we good to go, Nitisha? Nitisha?
You can show your thumb. Ah, that's good.
Yeah, now I'm able to unmute.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. So without any delay, as I said, let's just get into the discussion. And I was waiting to question you guys because I was the I was a panelist the last day, and now I'm the moderator. So the first question is that why is this thing plastic considered so dangerous? Why is this thing considered so dangerous? Just a polythene paper or something else? So why is it considered so dangerous? So I would like to hear it from you, Aditi, please.
Yeah. So why we consider it dangerous and like why we perceive it to be an alarming problem today is because it's ubiquitous, as in it is present everywhere and it's a part of our everyday life almost in every activity that we do. And talking about the element of calling it dangerous, I think it's because of the whole process of making, I mean, like the whole life of plastic is dangerous. So the moment it starts taking coming live to the moment it gets completely decomposed, it's very dangerous for the environment, as in it releases a lot of toxins, and the way it basically reacts with the various stakeholders of the food chain is extremely dangerous, and that's why we call it one of the most dangerous things. Leo, Tarun, you're muted.
I was trying to unmute myself. Yeah. So the same question to you, Nitisha. What do you think? Why is this thing considered as so dangerous? Can you please explain us in detail?
Yeah, sure. So, plastic is a material which will last forever and they are not degradable basically. So, toxic chemicals leach out of plastic which are harmful for us humans as well as the animals. Like, suppose we use plastic bags and we throw it on the roads. Many animals, like cows or another animals, feed on them and they die out of that. And they also caused like if we while degrading plastics, if we are exposed to that air, they also caused like diseases like cancer, birth defects, or impaired immunity, etc. things which threatens our lives, and they attract pollutants and they poison our food chain. So plastic is harmful for our nature.
Oh, yeah, that's good to hear from that for you. Same question to you, Rupesh. I was waiting for your answer. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much. So before I'm going to start, plastic was made up of toxic chemicals called natural gases like nitrogen, carbon, coal, and which are impure the liquid called crude oil. These are very harmful to the society. Coming to this plastic which we use in our daily life are eco-friendly towards the environment, which leads a severe health issues called cancer, whatever she has done before, noticed before. So, and moreover, it causes radiation, and it also shows impact on the aquatic and even on land. So, it is so dangerous for us to like if we use plastic more and more. So, it is so harmful for both wildlife and for human beings. Thank you, and I pass the question.
Yeah. So, Rupesh, thank you. Okay, speaking in detail, I would like to ask this question: is it possible to ban the plastic? I would like to
Yeah,
hear
of
it
course we
from
can.
Nitisha.
Okay. We all know that if government wants to do something, it can definitely do it. If it wants to ban plastic, it can do ban plastic. But the thing is that if government actually does ban the plastic, no, people start using more harmful materials, and plastic is already existing in our day-to-day lives in a very vast way. So it will be not so easy to decompose, as they are not decomposable or degradable. It is not so easy to completely ban plastic, which is already invented and running in our day to day lives. So, and almost about around 2% of the plastic waste is produced in day to day lives of any country. So, I don't think so it's that easy to ban plastic or completely remove it from the lives of the people.
Okay, good. Thank you, Nitisha. So the same question to you, Aditi. I would like to hear it from you.
Yeah, so my opinion is very similar to that of Nitisha. So no matter how much governments try to ban plastic, the way it has been a part of our lives is so, the impact is so high or great that we can't easily do away with. And as every individual, we have to be very conscious of our usage of plastic and take conscious steps to combat it, and only then we will be able to ban it completely. So I think using eco-friendly alternatives, or alternatives that are very sustainable and that don't interfere with the framework of the environment is the way to go.
Yeah, thank you, Aditi. Rupesh, please, your words.
Most of the things that they have told before, but we can ban the plastic by giving public awareness. And we need to explain them what are the causes that affect by taking plastic in our life. So, and moreover, we need to motivate the public. Instead of using plastic, we can choose some other alternative. By that, we can completely ban the plastic by giving them a good awareness by conducting a program. So I almost have seen before they have told that government is trying to stop plastic. But coming to our daily life, most of the people were using plastic more and more because they were lack of knowledge. So we need to make awareness program which tells them what are the side effects that caused by plastic, even if you are taking in packing or everything else. So this is my humble request to people to stop using this plastic so that we can tell people that, we can give awareness to the people instead of banning the plastic.
Okay, thank you, Rupesh. As you people are saying that it's not possible to ban plastic, but up to some extent we can control it. Like I would
Yeah.
like to ask this question. So in what ways can we reduce the plastic? Can you tell me that? I would like to hear it from you, Rupesh.
Yeah, we can reduce plastic like sapling. We need to plant more trees. And one more thing, instead of using this plastic bag, we can prefer more like jute bag, cotton, or even paper bag. And coming to these plastic boxes, we can use this steel boxes where the plastic box contains a chemical, dangerous toxic chemicals, which are nabbed in the plastic boxes. So instead of using such a dangerous, harmful product, we can use like what are the alternatives we get in our society. By that, we can reduce plastic.
Yeah, that's good, Rupesh.
1 minute.
From you,
Like,
Aditi.
so 1 minute. So like eco-friendly, which are biodegradable. The product will be very useful to reduce the plastic.
Yeah, Rupesh. Thank you. I would like to hear it from you, Aditi.
Yeah, sure. So again, adding to what Rupesh said, like simple things that we use in our everyday lives, right? Like ranging from toothbrushes, to cutlery, to containers, to even to be more specific, all these are like plastics that can be used over and over again, but single-use plastics are another thing altogether. So maybe using through pens, through stationery, or water bottles that are disposable. All these are things that we can consciously change because we know that there are alternatives, and as educated and aware individuals, if we come forward and change, and we can also make people in our surroundings aware of the repercussions that plastic does to the environment, then I think replacing plastic will be easier. And just an overall analysis of what we do every day, like the moment we get up to the way we sleep, there are so many plastic items that we use. So everywhere where it can be replaced, I think if we can do that, it will be a great step for a great future. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Aditi. From you, Nitisha.
As they all said, we can start replacing plastic by using jute bags, etc., etc. But we also can see if we go to a supermarket, we find of complete packaged foods like which packaged in plastic. Like hundreds and hundreds of products, everything is made of plastic, which is like a lot of plastic usage, and we can't replace it easily. So we can start selling those products in a biodegradable, or putting them up in a biodegradable waste products, like bamboos. Like there is this shop in Assam where they sell bamboos products, like products made of bamboo bottles, bamboo packages, and then I guess in Kerala, I guess they use coconut shells to decorate their restaurants, houses, etc. So we can reduce plastic where we can do it, and make a good use of the other products produced by nature also.
Yeah. You have an relevant information, Nitisha, like the things in Assam and all. I would really congratulate you for that. So, like, there are some ways, as you are saying. Okay, there are some ways that we can replace. And I would like to ask this question. So, there is this process called recycling and using of biodegradable materials. So I would like to ask this question because the recycling and using of biodegradable materials have been like they have been followed by years and years, but yet they did not have that effect. So what do you think? Are they gonna affect the usage of plastic? From you, Aditi? Sir,
Aditi, you
she,
are on mute.
sir, remove her, like unmute her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Aditi, you can
Tharun.
unmute
So
yourself. Yeah.
talking, yeah. So addressing your question, I think usage of biodegradable alternatives and replacing plastics by environment-friendly material and getting it recycled is has always been there, but the scale at which it is done is very minimal. So if we could scale up in terms of usage of recycling our plastics and also replacing it with better alternatives, I think that's one step forward. And talking about how we can do it, again, there are a lot of companies that do this already for us. For instance, take ITC. So they come regularly to a lot of communities and pick plastics and or non-biodegradable waste and waste that can be recycled. And in turn, sometimes they might give us cash or sometimes they might give us their stationery, whatever their services. So that could be an alternative, but not everyone can depend on an enterprise that does that. So a lot of times we as individuals will have to do it. And I think that's one step where a lot of work has to be done, because in India we don't have large scale recycling units available and accessible to everyone else yet.
Yeah, thank you, Aditi. From you, Nitisha.
Like here in India, we actually don't dispose plastic separately. We mix plastic, paper, vegetable waste, everything in a dustbin, and we throw it out, which is very hard to recycle or separate plastic from other objects. So they just burn everything together, which causes a lot of harmful and releases harmful gases into the air. Basically, plastic is not completely recycled, as it releases harmful gases even while recycling it. And it consumes a lot of fossil fuels to recycle a plastic. So they downcycle them into lesser, or what can you call it, like a low quality plastic product, so which can be used as car parts or spare parts, something like that. So we can start using biodegradable plastics, which break down into easily and which can be recycled easily, and start separating or recycling or putting plastic in separate bottles and separating it from the other waste materials.
Yeah, thank you, Nitisha. That was a good, information. Rupesh, yeah, Rupesh.
Actually, what I was taught, they have told it. So I agree with both of them. And coming to this biodegradable, like after recycling and it is used for again biodegradable, it also helps in soil fertility. So whatever they have said, it is absolutely correct. So I agree with them. And no more.
Thank you, Rupesh.
I really
Okay,
appreciate both of them.
yeah, that's the spirit of a panelist. You're appreciating them. Yeah. Thank you, Rupesh. So there's this thing that many laws of environmental acts or these pollution acts were put on these governments, but have they lacked functioning properly at the ground of the people, or due to the lack of proper functionality in the government? What do you think, Nitisha?
It's not the government faults. It's the government faults as well as the people faults. Suppose we can take ourselves. We'll take whatever cover. If we go to shopping, we just take whatever cover they give us, even though we know that it is crossing the limits of the plastic usage or the plastic cells. We need to say in the cover. We still take them and we don't complain. We neither complain. We neither stop using them. So even government also, like, it does not pass strict rules. Even after passing the rules, nobody is obeying it. Nobody is obeying the rules itself, shows that it's not effective in the public, that there is this rule that you should not expand these cells of the plastic. So government should start putting more effective, like how they put fines for crossing the signal. They should also put fines for crossing the so and so cells of the plastic usage, or so and so tons of the usage of the plastic in a particular shop.
Yeah, Nitisha, thank you. Aditi, sir, please unmute her.
I'm doing right. Okay. Now you can unmute
Sorry
her.
that I had to mute myself. There was some disturbance, so I had to apologies for that. However, answering the question, I think Nitisha was actually bang on with that regard. Uh, Adding to what she said, no matter how many UN conventions that we sign or what our pollution control board does, it all boils down at the end of the day to our basic civic sense and our awareness if we are doing it or not. So there are loopholes on both sides from the execution bodies because they weren't very stricter and are not very stricter yet. So I think penalizing people at every level is essential. And again, we as consumers and as citizens aren't very responsible, and even if we do, the scale at which we're doing is very minimal. So I think consciously taking steps and taking an action to solve the problem will only create a large impact. So yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah, thank you, Aditi. Yeah, Rupesh, I would like to ask this question. Is this the fault of the government or these people? What do you think, Rupesh?
In case government is good, actually in some other states, the government has totally banned plastic. If you have noticed, such a few states like Jammu Kashmir has totally banned plastic. There was no usage of plastic. But whereas coming to Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, we were still using plastic because more of the plastic industries has been giving production towards some other states, no. So government will only allow them to stop at middle. And in case if they stop in middle, they can't I will tell you in brief. So coming to this government, whereas in some other states has totally banned it, whereas in Telangana, they will take few taxes regarding the products like plastic, whatever they were being using, they were taking some of the points from them like taxes, and they have not at all banned the plastic completely. But whereas a government will be more strict as per the rules and regulations, there will be no plastic usage in Telangana even too, like the Jammu and Kashmir.
Yeah, thank you, Rupesh. Yeah, thank you, Rupesh. So as we are like now getting out of home due to COVID-19, So I would like to ask this question: what effect did COVID-19 have on plastic? Like, did it did it stop using of plastic? Did it avoid using of plastic? What effect did it have? From you, Nitisha.
Okay, as I said before, like during lockdown, everyone was sticking to their homes, sitting in their houses for 24 by 7. And as like, fast food centers, everything was shut down. For example, you can take McDonald's, KFC's, Burger King, etc. If we take them, like if you go to McDonald's, we use Cokes where they use plastic bottles and plastic straws. So we can, I heard that during lockdown we avoided going out, so there were no plastic usage in this restaurants, etc., so there may be reduced. But on the other side, we started using masks, plastic gloves, plastic like the food things. When we go to a hospital, people started becoming more and more cautious. We use sanitizers which come in the plastic bottles again. So there has been a total increase in the plastic usage. And we can also come start using this packaged food deliveries towards the home, like from Big Bazaar, etc., which they deliver in like plastic covers. So plastic has increased, usage of plastic has been completely increased in this during lockdown.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Nitisha. What do you say, Aditi? Because we are not getting out of home during the COVID lockdown, and most of this usage of plastic has been restricted to up to some extent. So, what did this corona have, even in the rural or the urban? What did it have effect?
So, Tarun, talking about your question, I have contradicting views, but I think Nitisha has covered it already. So, talking
Yeah,
about how COVID has, affected plastic, I really don't think it has reduced. It has indeed accelerated the problem. But again, it was inevitable to do so because, on the name of sanitation, we have introduced so many things. And also during the lockdown, we have seen how the demand for packaged food and like packaged drinking water rose up. And because a lot of migrant labor weren't having essentials, even distributing things in packaged form grew, but all that thing was inevitable and there wasn't any alternative. So my opinion about COVID and plastic is that nothing has really changed, but things with respect to PPE kits, sanitizers, or masks, or all those single-use disposable stuff that contain an element of plastic in them, because their production has increased. I believe that the problem has accelerated a little.
yeah. Thank you, Aditi. You have dared to tell that we should have that dareness to tell that about sanitizers and masks do contain the plastic. No one dares to tell that because we have been surviving with that since all these days. So yeah, that was good to hear from you. Yeah, Rupesh, I would like to hear from you again.
So actually, we need to tell regarding the effects, right, of this COVID time regarding the plastic, how it affected.
Yeah,
Tarun?
Rupesh. Yeah.
Okay.
That was the question. That was the question. How did
So
COVID-19 have the effect on plastic? Did it accelerate or did it decrease the usage?
actually, it has increased, and moreover, using of these sanitizers also, the particles which are nagged inside the plastic will alter, like will absorb towards our body, like the hormones which are present in our body will absorbed by the toxins, and it leads to a severe cause called as cancer and so on. So disease will be caused by this plastic. And coming to this pandemic here, most of the people were used to use sanitizers in plastic, whatever they have mentioned. Coming to the package of food, the toxins which are uh, present in the plastic has completely spread all over the food which we consume. It leads to a severe health problem. So nowadays, plastic has been increased totally. So remaining all the issues they have mentioned.
Okay, thank you, Rupesh. Thank you. So this question might be a bit like funny and all. So you people might be watching movies. Like the last movie that I have watched is Junior India's Janta Garage. So that movie depicts the usage of plastic is very harmful. So how does movies or social media have effect on plastic usage of plastic? So does that like people do follow the movie things that movie tells us, or they just listen from one and here like they leave it from the other ear? So what do you think? What is your opinion on that, Aditi?
Yeah, so talking about movies and their impact on social issues like reducing plastic, I have again differing views on this. There is one set of people who listen to it, and there's one set of people who are very adamant and think that whatever they're doing is right, so they wouldn't change their practices. But talking
Yeah.
about those people who would get inspired from movies. So, for instance, recently, um, so this is something that I have studied at college. So it was a part of visual text. We had this Leonardo DiCaprio's movie on climate change. So I believe that plastic is also one of those factors that leads to climate change. I'm bringing this in. So in that, all of us were made to watch the text, answer questions, understand the impact. And I definitely think such initiatives like movies or, videos in general help people sensitize with the issue and also like take initiative. But at the same time, it's a mental thing that all of us have. So no matter how serious you are and how committed you are, it's only if you realize wholeheartedly that you are a stakeholder and you have to do something impactful in order to curb the problem. I think it's only reduced in that case. Otherwise, people's notion about movies is just for fun. So, yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah. That's good to hear from you. Uh, Nitisha.
Yeah, like Aditi said, it's like people, it depends upon the mindset of the people basically. So we can take, for example, instance, Abhimanyu movie, where they show the harmful of social usages of social media, how dangerous it can lead to and what dangers it can lead to. But we still use mobile phones, we are all active on social medias. Like
Yeah.
life goes on after the movie, after 3 hours of the movie, and very few people get inspired. Like we all watch an action movie, it doesn't actually mean we'll go and do fights, etc., right?
Yeah.
So in the same way, we all, like, people don't actually watch films for the story, like for getting inspired or something. They watch for time pass or for their favorite hero, heroines, etc. They, like, it creates a very less impact, and especially positive things create very less impact from the movie, but they do really get inspired from some little things. And if social media things, I guess social media can create a major impact, but in social media it only spreads what is useful.
Yeah, Nitisha. It looks like you're like updated with the movies, like you're speaking about Abhimanyu and all. Yeah, I'm a bit like far to that movies and all. So Rupesh, I would like to hear it from you.
Not only by watching the movies and we getting motivated, it should become within us. If you want to do something good for our motherland or like eco-friendly, you need to make a plan and you need to take initiative. Not only by watching movies or if you have a plan, you're just coming out for a few days you are working, it's not a matter. But the things, what are the things you want to do to make this like like sapling? If we take a sapling, so many of them were taking and planting a tree for one day. No one will be taking care for next day. Then who will be the responsibility for the growth of plants? So according to me, we have taken one initiative program called HUPW, whereas we made students to take protect of the plant and to take protection of the earth, like like eco-friendly. The products which are unbiodegradable will be not allowed in this project. So here we are adding an action plan to take completely ban the plastic, and we are completely here to protect all the motherland.
Yeah, Rupesh. Thank you. Like in this busy life, we are not caring about ourselves anymore. Like we are only subjected to our work, our expenditures, and the income that we get. We are only made to like mechanized to earn money. So in this generation, you are doing something to ban the plastic. That's a very good thing. I really appreciate you for that, Rupesh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So there's this question again. In a developed country where there is like very less a fewer people, the population of this country is very less. In that countries, even in that particular country, it is becoming very tough to ban plastic. So in a country like India with different people and irrespective of religion, caste, and traditions and all, we hold the second largest population of the world. So is it possible that can we ban plastic in India with people with we don't have that educated people, only like 40% of people are educated about they are having aware about the plastic use and ban of use. So that's I would ask this question: is it possible to ban plastic in India? Not in this year or not in like a decade or what, but even in the future. So that this is my question to you, Nitisha.
As I said before, it's very hard to ban plastic completely because they have been a part of our life and they have been already been involved in our life. And suppose, for example, we can take Maggie packets, Yippee packets, they come in plastics. So we don't think so it's easy to ban plastic as we got used to it so much that it to an extent we can't even ignore a day without seeing a plastic bags in our home or plastic related material. For example, even we can take our screen guards, mobile covers. They are made of plastics.
Yeah.
So like it's completely in our day-to-day lives. And India, where we have the huge population, only half or like 40 to 60% of India is educated. And even educated people, we all work in IT offices where they use more of plastic. Like you can see printers or plastic materials like staplers, etc. So it's not so easy, and to create awareness around the people in the whole India is very tough. Government, so it's not like, instead of banning plastic or doing something like that, we can start reducing or reusing plastic by recycling, reuse, and reduced methods. Let's reduce the usage of plastic by replacing them with some degradable or eco-friendly materials, basically.
Yeah, like having listened to this word replaceable, have remember this challenge of Karthik Reddy, who is an Leo of 320D. He has put in challenge for us. Even I am the member of the challenge. Like I have taken the challenge to replace three things on our daily life. So yeah, we have started replacing. And Aditi, I have a different question to you. This question is that all these things of social media or browsing or WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, people go on saying about ban of usage and all. Will it reach is it reaching the common man down in the rural also?
Yeah. So to answer this, I think again, I have differing views. It is and it is not. But talking about the cases where it has reached, I think throughout India, if we take examples of few states, although like the whole state hasn't banned it, there are few places in specific that have done away with plastic, and there are rural places included in that too. So even in Telangana, long back, there was an initiative regarding cleaning all the villages. So that time, I think even plastic usage was reduced. But again, because of lack of serious execution, it reverted back. But at least for that short duration, it was reduced. So I think to answer the question, it is possible to reduce plastic, and social media actually reaches the interiors of the country as well. And yeah, but again, to say more, um, everyone can preach, but it's easier said than done. So people usually don't practice, and that's where we really have to work on it.
Yeah. So if you are given with the challenge of replacing 3 items in your daily life, will you do that? Do that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So in the recent meeting itself, I think we had another Leo. I think it's Leo's time or one of the events. Karthik actually put out this challenge. So that time I thought of three things. So one of them is plastic bottles. So from now on, I only use metal based bottles, no matter if they're if they're heavy or like not as convenient as plastic. I think for the environment that has to be done. And as a student, I use a lot of stationery, and although use and throw pens are very accessible and cheap, they are completely useless once the ink is done. So I think I'll only use those plastics or those pens that are refillable. And lastly would be with respect to the containers that we use. I soon replace all my containers with either metal or glass, and even cutlery. Yeah.
That's very good to hear that from you, Aditi. We are very much happy because the main motive of this program is to bring some change to the listeners and the panel is that they can avoid a bit plastic. So we have done that. So I'm very happy for this day. Yeah, Rupesh, you also have a different question. Is that the youth are mechanized, as I have said, the youth nowadays are mechanized to earn money. They are choosing different professions. They only earn money, they leave the country and all. So why the youth aren't caring about the nature, or once in a hundred, like one in 100 are being environmentalist, like they are coming back from the profession and joining in the NGOs that conserve the nature. So why is this happening? Why is the youth abated from the conservation of the nature? Why is this thing happening in only India? Why do you think that, Rupesh?
Most of the people become greedy, and more often they were running towards the money. So most of the time, not only from the outskirts or from the abroad, most of the people in India were not even taking care of nature. Why? Because they were habituated by seeing others. If one has been done wrong, no one is there to tell them whether it is correct or wrong. They just follow them. If the change comes if the change comes in our mind, then absolutely we can suggest others. Until and unless if you won't suggest anyone else, they can't even protect the nature. Very few of the very few of the people will come to will step forward to protect the nature, and very few were not even know regarding the what the responsibility they have towards the nature. So if any case, like if we conduct a awareness program, so many were not even participating in that because they were thinking a lot of time was being wasted and they can't even manage the time schedule also. So what we can do is that we need to tell them what the things they have done before and what are the effects that are going to face in future. By that, if they are really if they are really know what is the good, then we can make them to be friendly with our eco-friendly nature.
Yeah, thank you, Rupesh. The same question to you, Nitisha. That is that I just want to add one more thing to that. Uh, Youth are being abated from this conservation of nature. Is that due to this money-minded formula that is implanted into the youth during the education or by the family? Because no one in the family says, "Beta, aap jaake environmentalist, you become an environmentalist and you can't go after a job. No one says that my child should have been settled, like he have to be settled properly after 10 years or after 5 years in abroad mostly. So why is this thing lacking in the educational institutes or in the family? What do you think?
We can say, see, like most of them have the like do earn money because they have family responsibilities to take care of. So, see, as we can see in the before past times, many of them were not educated, and these days, without education, you can't move forward or you can't earn something. So, how parents became like that? I am not educated, so at least you need to get educated and you need to start earning money so that you will live a better life than us, not something like being a labor worker or kind of things. So they put them in this Narayanas and Chaitanya schools, like which only educate them about studies and marks. They do not even give knowledge about the extra subjects like health, let it be even the physical activities. They did not give knowledge about these subjects, which creates an impact in the child, that they need to take care of their parents. Like many of them start working because they need to take care of their parents who work so hard for them and made them study, and
Yeah,
they
yeah,
want to take care of them in their old ages. So, and in that way, they get addicted to this mechanic life where we don't care about nature or something. Yeah, I have this project, I need to submit, this is the deadline. Again, I need to take my salary. So that's what people got used to it. If they get weekends off, they need to spend this time with the family. Again,
yeah,
Monday, go back to the office and submit the deadlines.
yeah. The same question to you, Aditi.
Yeah, so adding to what Nitisha said, and in a way building upon the same thing, I would say that we as a country, our priorities at this point in time are not to tackle causes related to environment. People are more centric towards, you know, like laying their career, building a foundation, earning money. And it's not always greed, rather, it is about how we all are conditioned to, and how environment is not taken so mainstream like how it is taken in other countries. For instance, if we see in all those Scandinavian or Nordic countries, environment is their first priority. And even although it is integrated in our education system, the scale at which it's done, it's not as massive as theirs. For instance, maybe in countries like Denmark and Sweden, it's not about people like Greta Thunberg. It's rather about how every student over there actually thinks for the environment and takes initiative, and like how they replace not just plastic with sustainable material, but also with other sources of energy. For instance, in India, we still, because we are a developing country, we depend on fossil fuel because renewable sources of energy involve huge costs of initial investment, which we cannot afford at this point in time, which countries like them can afford. So it's a mainstream thing that in our country, environmental causes are sidelined, and only if we, um, you know, take it at a large scale level and do activities, it's going to work. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, Aditi. One more question to you. You have taken the name of Greta Thunberg. So I would like to ask this question. The last tweet that Greta Thunberg did, like I just don't want to get into the issue, I just don't want to name it.
Yeah.
So when she was tweeted that, we have a massive, replies from our country saying that the natural conserver is not a natural conserver. She is a politics. So why this political system in India has that culprated mind and all, and that is playing some sort of role in this ban of plastic or what? Because many companies which create polythene bags like the plastic, they have been in touch with the government and government officials or the political leaders. They have no day to touch them out. So do you think that, yes, political careers of people, for their political careers, are they trying to create this sort of mess of not banning this plastic?
So political opinions are always issues that we shouldn't comment much on, but I still would like to answer the question. Talking about how some firms lobby with the government and um, you know avoid them from not being seized or still will continue to do business. For instance, Adani Group. So they are very close to the current government, but when they started off initially, they started with the plastics unit, and that's how the company prospered. I know I shouldn't be saying all this, but I think political lobbying is also one way the government doesn't really take action against, because ultimately they're the funders and the government needs um, money for their campaigns and for other initiatives that they're part of. But again, completely blaming on the government is wrong on our parts too, because government also takes good initiatives for its citizens. For instance, Swachh Bharat was an environment-related initiative, and they did their efforts. It's again because of people's lack of seriousness, it couldn't prosper. And if you talk about banning plastics, like Rupesh initially mentioned, a few states in India have also banned plastic, and they are ruled by the same government. So, in that sense, it's again a citizens thing, and also ultimately as consumers we should have our awareness that we shouldn't purchase plastic related items, because if only we don't purchase, their productions will be stopped. Even in large scale units like IKEA, there's a lot of plastic. They sell plastic flowers, everything apart from furniture. All the decorative items that they send have heavy plastics. So if only we don't buy them, I think we can curb their usage. That's the only way to go about it.
Yeah. Thank you, Aditi. You have a very depth knowledge about the subject. It reflects in your words. So yeah, Rupesh, like I would like to ask this question to you. So Rupesh, yeah, Rupesh. So like we are going into politics, but I can't stop myself to ask this question. Rupesh, I would like to ask this question to you. So you'll when we get an election or something else, we'll have this plan of 5 years. Like, what is the government going to do? Like there'll be these things that to this category we are giving this thousands of crores, and to the youth we are giving this thousands of crores. To, like through through all these communications, like all departments, they'll be having this crores and crores of rupees. But are they providing some sort of budget to conserve the nature and ban the plastic?
So it's a very good question. So coming to this topic, very few governments like Telangana, we have already taken initiative Haritahara, and it has been done very successfully. And they have spent a lot of money on it also, and they have been taking care of them also. So coming to this politics, some of the like whereas the leaders, they even don't know anything regarding the program called like environment. They just focus on the money, and which helps them to get into like if they are in certain stage, everyone will be looking for the future. I will be telling in Telugu if it is
No
no
problem,
problem
no
with Telugu.
problem, no problem.
ఓకే కమింగ్ అంటే కొంతమంది ఉంటారు, అందరు ఉన్నారు. సో అందరూ ఏం చేస్తారంటే నేను ఈ స్థాయిలో ఉన్న, నేను ఇంకొక స్థాయికి వెళ్ళాలి, దానికి పెట్టుబడి పెడితేనే అవుతుంది అనుకునే వాళ్ళు చాలా మంది ఉంటారు. బట్ కొంతమంది ఇండస్ట్రీ పెట్టినా కానీ లేదా పాలిటిక్స్ లోకి వెళ్ళినా కానీ సమ్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్ విల్ బి యాజ్ ఏ గవర్నమెంట్ రూల్, ఇండస్ట్రీ పెట్టినా కానీ సగం ల్యాండ్ మాత్రం కంపల్సరీ గ్రీనరీ ఉండాలి. లైక్ దే హ్యావ్ టు మెయింటైన్ like sapling, or they have to take protection of the environment. In that case, Telangana is very good, according to me. So some other politics, even I don't know regarding that. Whatever I have seen my personally, then I am ready to tell you regarding.
Yeah, Rupesh, thank you. There is this last question to everybody on this panel. What as an Leo you are going to do to ban the plastic? So the question is to you, Nitisha.
Yeah, as we can see, like I am pursuing BBA, I'm a college student. I can start small steps by creating this awarenesses in my friends first, like asking them to stop, like reduce the usage of plastic, not replacing them or doing banning it in the first primary initial step. We can start saying that by reducing the like the usage of the plastic or minimizing it, so that by that we can ask like them to spread these out messages and do campaigns in the college. See, we can spread messages on the social media, like everyone are, we all are an active part, taking active part in social media like Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, etc. So we can start passing messages to our friends and ask them to share it on their social media too, which can a smaller impact in a, at least a particular like particular group of people. We do have families groups, etc., and we can start sharing it in with our families and ask them to take some challenge or send the pics, etc., which can create an impact. Like during the lockdown there was this uh, this challenge going on, the Jimki challenge or something like that, which created greater impact in the people. So I guess these environment challenges can also create an or a little bit enthusiasm, ask them like a bit enthusiasm in them by creating such challenges can make them happy.
Yeah. Aditi, what are you gonna do as a Leo to conserve the nature and ban the plastic?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, the first step would be taking up the challenge that Leo Karthik has given to everyone in terms of saying no to plastic. And like, I would firstly spread that across my club and my district. And I think as a Leo, firstly, like spreading Leo's challenges would be a great step. And then again, as Leo Nitisha have mentioned, promoting the challenge maybe on social media, then tagging our friends so that the challenge isn't restricted only to our Lions Club's community. We could take it forward and make it more, open to the places that we are involved with, like our schools, our colleges, and like even they can be a part of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
my
yeah, from Rupesh.
So coming to this topic, I already have a goal called green voluntary. So
Okay.
I made a plan. So by that, who were very really active in protecting the nature. So by that, it will be very helpful for me. Like I will tell you in Telugu, 5 to 6 members in తీసుకుంటాం మనం. So from each class, who are very active and making giving them challenge like sapling అనుకున్నాం for example. So after sapling, the green volunteers will be having all the responsibility to taking protect of the plant. సో వీళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారంటే ఇనిషియేట్ గా తీసుకొని వీళ్ళని చూసి ఇంకో 10 మంది మోటివేట్ అవ్వాలంటే ముందు వీళ్ళు ఏదో ఒకటి చేసి ఉండాలి, అంతే కదా. సో ఫస్ట్ నేను గ్రీన్ వాలంటీర్స్ అనే గోల్ ప్రెజెంటేషన్ తీసుకున్నాను. సో వీఆర్ ఆల్రెడీ డన్ ఇట్. సో మై మై పర్సనల్ గా నేను చెప్పాలంటే ఏంటంటే, ఒక గ్రీన్ వాలంటీర్స్ అనేది ప్రతి ఒక్క సంస్థలో ఉన్నారనుకోండి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ గ్రీన్ వాలంటీర్స్ అనేది అన్ని చోట్ల ఉండడం వల్ల ఏంటంటే వాళ్ళని చూసి ఇంకో 10 మంది ఇన్స్పైర్ అవుతారు. కమింగ్ టు ది సోషల్ మీడియాలో ఛాలెంజ్ ఇస్తే వెరీ ఫ్యూ విల్ బి టేకింగ్, అందరు తీసుకోరు. ఎందుకంటే బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దే వర్ బిజీ విత్ దేర్ షెడ్యూల్ లైఫ్. అదే ఒక గ్రీన్ వాలంటీర్ తీసుకుంటే అలాంటి గ్రీన్ వాలంటీర్స్ చూసి ఇంకొక 20 మంది ముందుకు వస్తారు. మేబీ ఇఫ్ ఐఎమ్ రాంగ్, ఐఎమ్ సారీ ఫర్ ఇట్. వాట్ ఎవర్ ద ఇనిషియేటివ్ హ్యాస్ టేకెన్, సో దట్ జస్ట్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్.
Yeah. Thank you, Rupesh. Thank you very much. That was a wonderful panel discussion with you. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Like, you have shared very relevant information and your personal experiences, like your goals that you are gonna do, and that was fantastic and impeccable. I could not have words to say that. Like all of you, all four, like Venugopal is not there, all three of you have done extremely fabulous job. Thank you very much. And now I would like to invite our GLT coordinator Nagaraj Sir Garu to give his brief observation in a minute.
Thank you so much. It has been a wonderful panel discussion with these young people not only just giving their thoughts, but also sharing some of their personal experiences. I am really impressed with the kind of resolutions that they've made and the decisions that they've taken to personally avoid plastic in their own lives. I think that's the beginning. So once we make a beginning like that, I think we can go really very far and we can make big achievements. I'm very happy that this topic relevant to the needs of the time has been chosen. And I congratulate Tharun for taking this initiative and all the three panelists. Hearty congratulations, all of you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir. Okay, now let me invite our GST coordinator Narsimha Raj sir to give his brief observation in a minute. Sir, is he there?
Raju, are you there? Or maybe he's in some other meeting. I'm not very sure. I'm trying to unmute him. Oh, yeah, he's coming in.
Yeah.
In the meanwhile, maybe you can ask somebody else to say a few words. I think Dr.
Yeah.
Vijay Lakshmi is there.
Yeah, sir. I would like to invite Vijayalakshmi ma'am, the Leo chairperson of 320D, to give her brief observation in a minute.
You
Ma'am,
need to
you're on
unmute
mute.
yourself. Yeah.
Very good evening. And I tell you, Tharun, it's a wonderful topic taken and discussed on that. And this shows, today discussion shows that, how deeply you are attached to this subject, how deeply it has given a thought for you to do something for the environment, and your observations, your abreastness with the latest things which are happening with the technologies and the improvements and the substitutes. What the suggestions are really, really very matured. And I'm so happy today that I could listen to you all and be part of it. I wish you all the very best and may this continue on a very better note. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Tarun
ma'am.
Raju has joined us.
Yes, sir. No, so now let me invite the GST coordinator, Narsimha Raju sir, to give his brief observation.
Good evening to all of you. It's really happy to see all Leos. Particularly today's discussion. It is one of my favorite subjects. Near what I have worked, and even till today I'm working on environment. And it's great to see and all panelists, Leo, and Tharun, all the best. You have done very well. The discussions, get it's nothing but whatever the discussions you have made. Definitely, we'll try to see and we'll try to implement that in our regular life, and we'll motivate all lions and leos to work on environment and plastic eradication. Thank you for giving the opportunity.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So now let me invite our GMT coordinator Amarnath Rao Garu to give his brief observation.
Line is not here. Jyoti is there. Maybe Jyoti would like to say something.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Very nice to hear you, beta. Tharun, you have done a good job.
Thank you.
All the team has done excellently. Feeling so happy. I'm really very much happy, and I feel I'm very lucky to hear you and see you all. Aditi, Nitisha, and Rupesh. Excellent discussion you have gone through. Really, you are the future citizens. What an goals, what wonderful goals you have presented in a beautiful way. Wish you good luck, beta. Bye.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
I see line Renuka. Would you like to say something, Renuka?
Good evening. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, please.
So actually, I have missed this program from the beginning, but it's always a surprise to see how Nagaraj are involving the Leos this time. Always wondered how to involve Leos into the Lionism, actually. So I think it's a very wonderful program, and this is the age where they should talk about the environment and all. And my best compliments to you, sir, and always you have been a wonder to me.
Thank you. Thank you, Renuka, for being with us. Anita has raised her hand. I am unmuting Anita. Anita, you can speak now.
Good evening, everybody.
Yes, Anita.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody. Really excellent speech. I am very happy to say. Tharun and all the panelists done very well. Good evening and keep it up. All the best in future endeavors also. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. I see Shankar Venkat Krishna Prasad Garu. Krishna Prasad Garu, do you like to say something? I think maybe he's not available close to the camera. It's okay. I think you can go ahead with the rest of the program. Anant Reddy garu
sir.
Anant Reddy garu evana maatladtara? Anant Reddy garu, doctor garu. You have to unmute yourself.
పిల్లలు ప్లాస్టిక్ గురించి బాగా చెప్పారు. ఈ ఆధ్వర్యంలో లీడర్షిప్ డియోస్ మంచి లీడర్స్ గా తయారయ్యేటట్టు చేసిన పని బాగుంటుంది. నేను ఇంకా లీడర్ ఇది ప్లాస్టిక్ ఎరాడికేషన్ కూడా ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఇంకా మీరు కండక్ట్ చేస్తే బాగుంటుందని కోరుకుంటూ బాగా పిల్లలకు నా శుభాకాంక్షలు తెలుసుకుంటాను.
Thank you, Doctor. Tharun, I think you can go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Now I would like to invite, the little charm to give the vote of thanks. Ananya, please.
Thank you for giving this opportunity to propose.
Sridhar, audio increase cheyandi. Volume రావట్లేదు. మళ్ళీ మొదటి నుంచి చెప్పమనండి, వినపడట్లేదు. మైక్ దగ్గర పెట్టుకోమనండి.
మైక్ దగ్గర పెట్టుకో.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to propose vote of thanks, Tharunanna. Thank you very much, LCIF area leader G. Baburao uncle, thank you District Governor G.R. Suraraj uncle. Thank you very much, GLT Coordinator Nagaraj uncle. Thank you very much, GMT Coordinator Amar uncle. Thank you very much, GST Coordinator Raju uncle. Thank you very much, DCS Praveen uncle. Thank you very much, DCT Tirupati Reddy uncle. And thank you, moderator and all the panelists and participants for joining the meeting. This program is successfully completed. Thank you.
And thank you, Ananya.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Ananya.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, sir. Sir, if you don't mind, to all the participants who are in this meeting, we are very sorry for what happened in the beginning. Like, even though Nagaraj sir, I would like to ask this to you. Like, we have to have an review meet, sir. This is my opinion. We should have an review.
I think you sent the link to some unruly elements, and perhaps they intruded into our privacy. And when you send the link in future, you must be very careful whom you are sending. And to unknown people, it should never be sent. And I think some people, I don't know how it happened, some people were removed, and that's why they could not re-enter. Had they been put in the waiting room, we could invite them again. So I think it was done inadvertently. Whenever you find somebody in a meeting like this, whom you do not like to be there, you can put in the waiting room, send to waiting room, and remove two different things. If you put in the waiting room, we can check their veracity, and we can, once they are authentic, you can re-admit them. But if you remove them, they cannot join again. So that's what happened to Govindaraj, I think. So he could not come back. So on behalf of all of you, on behalf of our district, I plead guilty of the small mistake that has happened. I will call him tomorrow and then explain what has happened to him.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
and
yes, Tharun.
thank you very much. Like since 2 days we have been working on this, you have been very supporting